After helping thousands of students build a profitable live video strategy, I've found that there are three really common problems that end up derailing my students' success and confidence with live video. And I'm going to share each of those problems with you and start to share too a little bit about how we systematically tackle each problem so that you can get off the roller coaster, the highs and lows of feeling like things are going great and then terrible, and just this emotional ride, and just approach this really kind of scientifically and systematically. So let's jump in right now. So first off, problem number one is that no one is attending your lives or watching the replays, meaning you have low viewership. It sucks when this happens. It makes you feel bad. It makes you question why you're even creating these videos in the first place. So let's talk about what we do when that happens. So first off, questions I ask my students are, A, how many leads have you had coming into your ecosystem in the last 90 days? A lot of times I have students who are brand new to building an audience online, and they feel like their content's really bad, but in reality, they just do not have a solid lead generation strategy. So I would want to know, are you consistently bringing new people into your audience? Because if you are and they're not watching, that's a different problem. But if you're not bringing people in, that's just, we need that lead generating solution. So we got to figure that out. Do you have people that are consistently coming in right now? Question number two, what is your traffic driving strategy? What are you proactively doing every single week to make sure people are coming to your live videos? A lot of people think that they can just kick back and, hope that people show up, but you can't just hope. You got to actually have concrete things that you do. For example, sending emails, creating events, getting predictable. There's a lot of stuff I teach to help with that, but you got to ask yourself, what's that consistent thing you're doing every week to drive traffic? Next question, are you picking hot/relevant topics or just choosing random bleep to talk about, right? Which is it? Because I know when I first started creating live video, I would literally just hit go live and share about whatever I thought was interesting. And I ended up figuring out that a lot of this was stuff that no one else in my audience actually cared about. So are you talking about things that, you care about, or your audience needs and, the problems that they want to solve? And then lastly, are your titles and topics that you are choosing engaging? So this is similar to this number three, that the third question we just talked about. But this is really understanding what is going on in your industry. What are people talking about? What problems is your audience searching for? What conversations are being had, so that you can create content that is relevant and top of mind and engaging for people? Because maybe people are there and they're just not that interested in what you're doing or what you're creating. So that is problem number one. If problem number one is you can comment below. Let me know problem number one is you. No shame at all in where you're at. And we're going to move to problem two. So problem number two is when you've got some viewership, like you've got people that are showing up live or watching the replays, but absolutely no one is engaging. You're not getting any likes or comments, none of that. So let's talk about how we approach low engagement. So number one, are you asking for engagement? A lot of people feel entitled to engagement. They feel like, oh, I'm showing up live. Why don't people say hello? Why don't people comment? I'm providing all this valuable content. But the reality is, this is a loving truth. No one owes you anything, right? You've got to ask for it and train and teach your audience that this is something that you want from them and that you need from them, and the reasons why. So when I say, are you asking for engagement? When you go live, are you asking people to comment #live or #replay, and explaining, if they're not a social media savvy audience, how it benefits you as a business owner too, for them to just post a simple comment, because it boosts the video. So, if you're working with people who are in entrepreneurship and social media savvy, they understand why commenting and liking things is important, and that it boosts and that it helps your business. But if you're not, which a lot of my students aren't, you need to explain the why behind why you're asking your audience to comment, and that it helps you as a business owner, but also it starts a conversation between, you guys as well. So that's number one. Are you actually asking for engagement? Second thing, is your engagement like stupid simple? I'll give an example. I've had students who will ask really deep, dark questions about something that's going on for their audience. For example, I was working with a relationship coach who used to ask their audience questions like, what is the worst thing ever that happened to you in your relationship? And I don't know about you, but I would never share something like that publicly on the internet, like something really vulnerable, and long. Like, it's just too much. It's too heavy, right? So when I say, is your engagement stupid simple? It's doing things like asking yes or no questions throughout the live. Do you guys, for example, you could ask your audience, do you guys ever do this? Yes or no? Have you ever experienced this? Yes or no? It could be on a scale of 1 to 10. How do you feel about this thing? Just commenting a number. It could be asking them a little pop quiz where you're like, what do you think the reason for X, Y, and Z is? And then give them a few options, A, B, C, D, have them comment a letter, right? It could be that you ask them a true or false question. So now you're not asking for a long, intimate answer. You're asking for something simple. And once people start commenting once, they want to comment again and again and again. It makes it easier. The last question you want to ask yourself when you're not getting engagement is, are you creating a psychologically safe environment for your audience, right? Because a lot of times I think people are hesitant to share on videos because they don't want to be criticized or judged by the other people who are going to read those comments. For example, I often will watch YouTube videos and read through the comment section, and some of my posts a comment, and if a lot of viewers don't like it and are reading it and disagree, they just get hammered, and it's not a fun experience. So are you creating an environment where you are making sure people feel like it's okay to share? If there's any bad behavior, your audience knows you're gonna kick those people out who are behaving badly. Does your audience feel psychologically safe in your community? Okay, last problem that we're going to talk about today is that you've got the viewership, you've got the engagement, but you don't have conversion. People are not moving to the next step. They're not taking advantage of your freebie, you're booking a call or buying your product or service. You're basically in the friend zone, right? Where you have all of these people who are there and cheering you on, but no one is taking that next step. So let's talk what you do in that scenario. So a couple of questions that we want to ask yourself here. So number one, and this is kind of a harsh question, is your offer actually any good? And there are times where I have had students who come to me looking for advice on their video scripts, and they're frustrated because they're in the friend zone. And I listen to the offer and I'm like, it could be better. Like, we could beef this up a little more. This could be more compelling. Like, this is not something compared to all the other things that are offered right now online that's that interesting. And that's a hard question to ask yourself. So that's the first thing we got to figure out. Is your offer really any good? Is this something your audience really wants? Second thing, if you know it's a really good offer, during the video, are you articulating the value of the offer and the offer promise correctly and at a high level? Meaning that you are able to convey the value of this offer very, very easily. It doesn't matter what the offer is, whether it's a course or a membership or a product or a service. Is it like a no-brainer that people want to go and click and look at it and move forward to that next thing by the way you're communicating it? Next question you want to ask yourself if you're getting the engagement but you're in the friend zone is, do the offer and the topic for the live video work in tandem? So for example, if you are promoting a dog training service and your video is about how you love to cook at home, right? Like, the two don't make sense. Like, you're not going to sell this dog training service off this home cooking video, even if people know you're a dog trainer, right? Like maybe you do if you're really big, but like the two don't work in tandem. Like we want to make sure that the video topic and the offer mesh, go together well, so that as you're talking about the topic, the need for the offer arises just based off of you bringing awareness to, you know, everything that you're sharing about and educating your audience. Okay. Last thing that we want to ask is, are there clear instructions for how to take advantage of your offer? So for example, I've had students who are like, no one's buying or no one's downloading my freebie, but it's just not clear from the video how to do that. Like they haven't included a link in the description, or they're not sharing about the offer clearly enough in the video. So we want to make sure it's stupid easy, crystal clear for people to take that next step. So we've just hit all these problems in 10 minutes. I hope that you guys are getting so much value from this so far. Comment below, let me know what you're taking away from this, which of these problems are resonating with you. And here's the thing, as a live video creator or someone who's using live video to grow your business, we have a few goals, right? We attack these problems systematically the way that I've described, so that you can get off that roller coaster of emotion, right? So when my students come to me and they say, I have problem number 1, these are the 4 questions that I ask, right? Or problem 2, these are the 3 questions I ask. And sometimes there's more depending on, you know, their unique situation. But what I hope you're seeing is that the best content creators have a process where they systematically know how to solve problems versus just sort of guessing. Because a lot of times, like I have had students come to me and just guess, where they're like, oh, my videos aren't getting traction. I need a different freebie, or I need a new offer, or I really should be doing this different strategy. And I'm like, what evidence do you have to support that? Because from our conversation, I have no idea which direction you should go in, because you haven't answered some of these core questions that get at what the real issue is, right? Okay, the last goal I want to share about is, I want you to feel empowered to keep moving forward when things don't go well. And when you know how to systematically approach these problems, that happens because you're someone who knows problems are going to show up, right? At any goal you have, problems are going to show up. So instead of a problem showing up and you being frustrated by it or feeling entitled to a better outcome, you are instead just saying, oh, you're already here. The problem's here, and I know how to systematically solve it. So I hope this video resonated with you today. And if you need help improving your live video strategy, if you want to fine tune it, if you want to start it, I want to encourage you to hop into the Video Skills Lab for just $9 a month. I'll put the link above, and essentially it's where for just $9, I'm going to give you access to me. You're going to get access to my 2 Zoom coaching calls a month, my weekly Q&As, my community, my library of over 50 plus trainings of content. I'm giving you a little sneak peek as to like what the platform kind of looks like right here. But this is just like an amazing way to get started without breaking the bank. I hope you got so much value out of this video. Let me know what resonated with you, and I'll see you real soon.